All right. All right. We are live on Instagram and YouTube. Sorry I started late. There was some microphone drama. Let me put this microphone closer to me. Hope you can hear me. Hope there's not a lot of interference. I don't know. I think the driver disappeared on the microphone earlier. I have to reinstall everything. Hopefully, it is working now. So yeah, today is Sunday, April the 14th. We had the eclipse earlier this week. It was a lot of fun. I wasn't going to do anything about it. I thought it was just a fab, but you can't miss that, right? And the whole thing's lapsed for like the best part only lasted like 5 or 6 minutes. So why not? So I took my camera out, took some pictures. There were some enthusiasts on the field. Everybody have their own contraption for looking at the eclipse. Apparently, in Cambridge, in Boston, the libraries were giving out eclipse glasses so everybody could look at the sun safely. So it was a good day. And somebody told me that after the eclipse, um, things are going to look up. So if you had a strain of chaos or bad luck leading up to April the 8th, right now your luck is about to change for the better. So good for everybody. So while still waiting for while I'm still waiting for people to come in. We started late. Hopefully, people will be strolling in slowly into this chat room. So, in my experience, it takes a while for people to stroll into this room. If not, we can do a short one here. I wasn't going to come online this week, but I was, why not, right? Keeping up with the tradition. Hopefully, I can do a live stream every week. People will show up and listen. So I thought maybe we could start off with something more interesting. Some of my observations to the occult world. I was going to make a video on this. You see, making a video is fun, but the way I make it is I want to make it, as perfect as possible. I want to use the right words, and these days, things have changed since I started. We have a lot better graphics now. We have a lot better sound now. When I started, I didn't think anybody would be watching these videos, and turns out nobody did. But these days, we actually have a lot of subscribers. Thank you very much for everybody who joined recently. And I have gone pro. And oh, hello, Michelle Ann. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. So we are going to start off by talking about what Satan told me. Some of the interesting things he said to me when I started and over the course of me working with him. So that would probably take us like 10 minutes or so, and then let's see if there's any questions. Hopefully he brought some questions and stories, so it wouldn't be just me here. So how's it going in Singapore? It is, I guess it's 10:15-ish in Singapore now. It is a nice sunny morning here in Boston. Nice air after the eclipse. That's great. See, I'm psychic, right? I can astro travel and see your clock all the way in Singapore. No, I'm just kidding. So I don't know if you know the story. I've told this story to a lot of my clients. So when I first started with Satan, one day he just came to me and then he started talking. I always thought meeting Satan, the Dark Lord himself, will be a very formal event. It will sort of be like what you see in the movies. The world will shake, and my room is set on fire, and this like giant of a figure was speaking in a very low and thunderous voice, saying, "Did you summon me?" Um, Now, I'm not saying that that's not the case. Oh, hello, Lord Darkness. How are you? Good to see you here. We were just talking about Satan and my early days working with Satan and what he revealed to me. So when he started talking to me, I was just writing something about Satan, and then he just came and then he started talking and correct my writing, right? Um, so so all these conversations took place over a few months or so. I'm just, regurgitating or trying to remember as correctly as possible. So sometimes you talk to these giant spirits and they speak to you in a way that is very hard to translate back into language itself. A lot of it's through experience. A lot is through like download. By download, I mean it is a phenomenon that modern occultists experience is that the spirit will kind of push a lot of energy into you. It will feel like a very dense kind of energy. Your whole space, you can feel like your space is thickening up. If you're looking at your watch ticking, you'll see your watch ticking slower. Um, some people find it hard to breathe. You find that your motions become slower, that kind of thing. So, but then you feel this massive amount of information pushed into you, but you can't really decipher what that information is at the time. And then it will slowly try to reveal itself, kind of like peeling off the onion, bits by bits. Um, so that's what I mean by download. Sometimes the download information will be for you and for the people around you. Like you'll be chatting with somebody and then you will say something to them and then they'll say, oh yeah, how do you know that? Or how do you read my thoughts? Or I'll say something and then people will start crying and say, that's what my dad mother told me, or, um, this is a memory from my childhood. How do you know that? And so forth, right? Um, I will write more on the download process a little bit later. So today we're talking about Satan. So his best line was really just, I asked him, are you responsible for all the evils in the world? Keep in mind, I was a devoted Catholic. I won't say devoted, but like I was a Catholic, right? I went to a Jesuit school. Even when I was in university, back in, okay, I might as well tell you, I went to University of Toronto. Hello, FG, how are you? We're just talking about Satan. So my first university experience was University of Toronto. And then there's this fact, and when you go to that university, it is like a college system. There's a lot of sub-colleges you can go to, kind of like Oxford, right? I actually went to a Catholic college inside University of Toronto. So, and then when I was much younger, when I was like third or fourth grade, I was actually in the choir. So I was literally a choir boy. Um, so that kind of Catholic, right? By the time I met Satan, I've already done some black magic work. I have, been through the Vedic, that means Indian system, pretty good, and I've seen some good results. Um, so I asked Satan, right, are you responsible for all the evils in the world? And he said something profound, right? He said, humans are responsible for all the evils in the world. The darkest space in the universe is found inside the human heart. And at some point, it actually wanted to prove to me how evil humans are. I'll get to that later on, but basically, he said he was just playing a role. He so that human could personify their own evilness into an object, right? Um, so so the answer is no. Satan is not responsible for the evils in the world. Humans are. Humans are much more evils than any spirit you can find in the universe. And he was also telling us that this is his role. Um, he's playing a role as this evil being, this chaos being, right? Sort of like how Tom Cruise plays a role as Maverick in Top Gun, or Iceman plays the villain in the same Top Gun movie, right? Or an actor playing the Joker, or an actor playing inside a suit that is like an alien that bends on destroying the world. If you have watched like the Predator movie, the Predator is one heck of a monster, but inside that suit there's a human actor playing the role. And from what I've seen, I forgot the actor's name. He is quite an athlete, like a really tall human being, extremely athletic, like the prime specimen of the human species. So when you're able to look him up, you should check him out. But it's kind of like the Predator monster. Inside of that, there's a human being, probably just like me and you. Enjoy coffee in the morning, put their pants on one leg at a time. So Satan said all the spirits that you've met, they're all playing a role for humanity, right? So Satan said that he's playing this role, obviously an important role, right, for humanity to thrive, right? Sort of the same reason why we have villains in the movie. The villains in the movie, the actors who plays the villains are probably good guys. Well, there are a lot of actors who play the hero in the movie are a-holes in real life, right? And the actors who play the villains could be a nice guy in reality. So all these spirits that when Satan was personified as evil, or even Poseidon was personified as the ocean, or Aphrodite was personified as love. They are all playing this role for us, humanity. And he also gave the example that said, humans are kind of like children, right? And all these gods and spirits are kind of like playing with the children, playing with the child as a villain, sort of like, you as an adult, you're playing the bank robber, and the kid is given a toy gun as a sheriff, and then the child kind of like bang bang to the adult, and then you fall down, and they say, "Oh no, you got me," right? So that's the role that these spirits are playing. So from as far as I can tell, Satan wants the best for humanity. Of course, there are chaos in the world. Very profoundly said that the people who believe in quote unquote light beings are responsible for most, if not all, the chaos in the world, right? Just think of how many people died in the name of God, for their God, right? Or in the name of Jesus, and how many died in the name of Satan, right? So that's something that he told me on Jesus. He said he was, of course, they know each other. He was the teacher of Jesus in humanities and the ways of humans. Jesus was a human, but he has the spirit of a God. And the spirit of God is learning to function as a humankind, right? So he explained to me sort of like, have anybody played the game Sims? Okay, Lord of Darkness, I've seen you have comments, and I'll read that out a little bit later. Kind of like the game Sims. Does anybody remember that game? Or just any game where you build stuff inside the engine, right? Or SimCity. Does anybody remember that game? You build this perfect city with like perfect lights, and then you can actually check the land values. Yeah, Sims, right? Or SimCity. It's built by the same team of programmers, right? You build this world where the characters could walk around, and then you give them an idea to go to school or go buy a microwave, and then get a job, and then there's an index on how your character is doing, and then you can interact with other Sims characters. You can buy couches and things like that. So it's SimCity, right? when I was in high school, I played SimCity 2000. That's how old I am. Back when the year 2000 has some significant meaning. Can you believe it? It was 24 years ago. But you build this perfect park, and then you have this amazing plot of land and develop into like commercial space. But don't you want to at some point go into this world and experience that city that you built, right? Or if you're playing Sims, you build this perfect apartment for your character. At some point, don't you want to go into the simulation and experience that, right? So these spirits are kind of like the human behind the scene, right? And they have various ability to interact with the simulation, right? Um, so in a way, Satan told me that Jesus is has a spirit of a high power God, who is trying to experience the world that they have created. And Satan was his teacher on the way of humanity, right? And the Bible, in a way, we all know the Bible was like twisted. That's not what it originally read. Um, the original meaning is that, yes, God have met Satan, and then he was taught the meaning of humanity and how to operate in humanity. And Jesus actually partied a lot, right? If you read the Bible and if you study history, he has surrounded by good people. He has a lot of female fans. It's kind of like that movie Jesus Christ Superstar, right? Like he was beloved. He had all the material he can enjoy, and so did Buddha, right? And so did Muhammad when he was younger. He has a very rich wife. So all these like prophets and gods, they all enjoyed the best of humanities, right? And then at some point, you know, Jesus realized that he needs to go back into being the God, and then he has to like say goodbye to Satan, and say goodbye to this world, so that he could participate back into the ethereal world again, back to where he came from. And the story of Jesus is that we can all be like him. We can all be Jesus. At some point, we have to let go of all the the amenities of humanity in order to become God. That's basically what the Bible was. Forget about this die for sin bullshit, right? Like that doesn't even come on until like 300-400 later, after Jesus died. But in any case, we'll have a whole discussion of the Bible later. So that's the deal between Satan and Jesus. They are good friends. Satan is kind of like the uncle of Jesus. So that brings us to the next point. So Satan is a god form. He came from the pantheon that was known to humanities in the Canaanite era. Remember, the Canaanite, that part of the world was the navel of civilization for a very strong reason, right? Because so that was kind of like the crossroad of humanity, like Asia and the Greek world and the Egyptian world all cross near and the Babylonians and the Persians. They all have to go through uh, the land that is Israel today, right? Um, so the Canaanite pantheon is sort of like the combination of all the gods in all the regions of the world that were focused in that one area, right? So Satan is one of those deities, one of those gods in that pantheon, and so is Yahweh, right? And Yahweh was one of those gods, right? And these days, God. Oh, hello. We have a lot of participation in Instagram. Hello, Enlightening Quotes. Hello, Angel 8 Borges 7. Welcome. So we're just talking about Satan, and we have some people on YouTube. And I'm just reading off comments here and there and continuing our comment on Satan, right? So God is one of the God forms in this pantheon, in this council of gods, right? So it is Yahweh is not the one God, but he was kind of like all merged into one. So in a way, the God that Christians and the singular God that people worship today is more like a sort of like an everything kind of God. It's sort of like an amalgamation of all the beliefs all thrown in together, right? And then, but if you do pray to God, it will be separated, and different gods and different angels will read it, and then they will have heard your prayer. Um, so what else? So yeah, so he actually told me that. So when we started, as I said, I was a Catholic, right? And he wondered if I would say "Hail Satan" to him, and I would say absolutely not, right? Because I was told not to do that as a Catholic. Um, and I was pretty stubborn. He just Satan. He was just kind of find it funny, and he actually likes that. He actually said that was a test to see if I'm one of those people that would quote unquote hail Satan. All those people who say hail Satan are the kind of like people who do nothing and then expect him to like do things for them and expect him to bring them, money and women and glory and whatnot. That's not what he does. But he did say something profound, right? That was many years ago. He said, in the future, you are going to be one of my partners in Earth. And at the time, I thought, there was no way that was going to happen. I'm not going to work for you, blah, blah, blah. And many years later, today, things kind of developed. And I'm doing a lot of things for Satan, and Satan is doing a lot of things for me. So, in a way, what he said to me many years ago sort of came true. So yeah, so that's a little blurb to get this started and get people seated. Do you have any questions? So I see a lot of darkness. That evil gives life meaning. Or read Berserk chapter 83 and 84. It explains why Satan said that humans are responsible for evils in the world. That's very true. Lord of Darkness also said it's the gods playing with mortals' being again against other gods, what mortals will do when put to the test, manifesting certain situation. That is very true too. So we see so I see Michelle have played Sims before. I hope you like the game. And FG also played the game Sims before. That's great. Oh, I haven't played it in a while. I played it back in college many years ago. Are they still putting out new version of the game Sims? Which I think was eventually turned into virtual world and meta, right? I guess like Mark Zuckerberg really enjoyed the game and he spent $100 billion creating like a real sim called the Meta World and then failed miserably. To put it in perspective, Mark Zuckerberg spent like $100 billion building the Meta World, and the graphics is nowhere as good as Sims. So we had it pretty good 20 years ago. So in any case, how is everybody doing? That's pretty much all I have to say about Satan today. I was just reflecting how we got to this point here, and Satan being a partner, being my partner in life, a partner of mine in life, and I'm a partner of him in the physical world. And things are not as it seems, and it is actually working out pretty good. I can still work with Jesus. I can still work with other gods. That's fine. That's perfectly good. And he actually gave me a lot of hints and guides along on how to work with other deities and gods and angels and demons. Yeah. Do you have any questions so far? So did everybody watch the eclipse? Lord Darkness, are you in the US? You're American, right? I know FGFG is in Hong Kong. I know Michelle is in Singapore. Do you guys get to see the eclipse? Well, it's quiet today. Michelle Ang said, "No, I didn't manage to see it." Hey, Michelle, are you a fan of the Airbender, the Avatar, the Last Airbender? Oh, hey, Canon Ichirio, how are you, my friend? Good to finally meet you. So we are both on IG and YouTube. So if I'm reading off comments that you don't see on your screen, that means I am reading a comment of YouTube. Oh, Michelle, you haven't seen. So, Michelle, my question is: have you seen the Avatar, the Last Airbender? It was a cartoon, and now it is a Netflix show. Oh, hello, Magic Boy Hong Kong. How are you on IG? Oh, Michelle, you have to watch that series. Watch the cartoon. The moment you watch that cartoon, you'll realize why I recommend it so much to you specifically. Okay, that is your homework. You have to go watch it. It's called The Last Airbender, or it's called The Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's a cartoon. It's legendary. You have to watch it. All right. It's on Nickelodeon. Don't watch the Netflix. The Netflix one is not as good. Netflix one is just like they just want like real human playing the cartoon characters. The cartoon is much better. Um, so yeah, so what's the weather like in Hong Kong today? FGFG. It is nice and sunny here. It is about 15 degrees Celsius. So quiet today. Time to expand to TikTok. Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I might have to install TikTok on my laptop. I should do that, but like I don't know if anybody would watch me on TikTok though. Yeah, it's quiet today. All the samurai people are missing. All the Azazel people are missing. After you said Hong Kong is hot, it's 27 degrees. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's good weather. I would take 27 degrees anytime. Michelle said, I think there will be. I scroll through a few Occult radio TikTok before. Okay, I will give it a shot. I guess I can just have it simultaneously on both my laptop and my phone. So like my phone is on IG and then my laptop is on YouTube. So yeah, I think we can pull it off. FGFG said we can't use TikTok in Hong Kong. Really? You can't? Oh, you guys use Douyin, right? Michelle said he will have free platforms. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I know. I think there are software that will let you to simultaneously cast uh, to all the platforms. But the downside is I have to give out my password to all these platforms to one software company, which is not a prudent thing to do. Yeah, I have a TikTok account. I'll send it to you, and then you have to add me. I have like one follower so far, so you will actually be doubling my following on TikTok if you add me, Michelle. Please do that. Uh, It's blocked in Hong Kong. Really? I'm surprised the TikTok is blocked in Hong Kong. I see some Chinese content on TikTok. Oh, you guys are a little red book, right? Is that what it is? Michelle says, sure, happy to connect. Thank you for being so supportive, my friend. Maybe I should go on, what's that streaming platform? That's Twitch, I think. Yeah, Twitch. Perfect. And then there's this new one that's also like crazy, right? Oh, I forgot. It's a new one, and a lot of people are on it. And then it's even crazier than Twitch. Oh, I forgot what. It will come back to me at some point. So, anybody done any fun rituals lately? So, if you, Dion, what fun rituals did you have? I did like a big one for the eclipse. Some client paid me a lot of money to do a eclipse ritual, so that was fun. And just mostly like a lot of little things. I did a few love spells, quote unquote love spells. Um, one of my clients got a sugar daddy, so that was a big triumph. And she is actually married. She was quite surprised that she found a sugar daddy while she's married. I don't know how it's going to work out. Like she was just really happy to tell me that she found a millionaire sugar daddy, and she said she's going to call me back, but she haven't done it so far. So yeah, so it could happen. Um, so upcoming. So I'm going to have like a series of guided meditation products coming out and quote unquote hypnosis products on recordings. If anybody's interested, put some of them on Etsy for sale. Put some of them on YouTube, and it will be the quote unquote tangible products. So in about a week, I'm going to have a subscription service out for basically daily rituals. So you see my IG account says Black Magic Club. So that was like a conception I had a while ago. I had some private clients that are on subscriptions that are paying me retainers. So I thought maybe we can run this model to the public and then have a few tiers of membership. And then, we can have on the lower tier, we will have like a once a week or twice a week kind of rituals. Plus some free, well, I won't say free, right, but like a subscription-based Reiki, mass Reiki kind of event every week. And then on the higher tier, we're going to have everyday rituals and then a lot of club benefits and perks. And then on an even high end, we could run the supermassive engine for months and months continuously for subscribers on the high end. The supermassive engine is, I have a group of ordained priests in India that are lifelong priests, lifelong Vedic priests living in a temple, and all they do all day and all night is chanting mantras and things like that. And then and the supermassive ritual is to have our friends in India just keep chanting mantra rituals for the subscribers nonstop all day and all night. by group of monks, basically the Brahmas. So it is equivalent of like 1 million rituals a month. So it's going to be fun. Some of you have already enjoyed the benefits of that. You'll find that opportunities is going to show up a lot more frequently. At the end of the day, you still have to like work hard to benefit from these rituals, right? So, but then the supermassive rituals is going to put a lot of energy in your space, and you do it in a subscription way. We can lower the costs and spread out the expenses. Yeah, so that's what's coming up with the products I said or the services I'm providing. And then I have other things coming up. That's great. So those of you who don't know, I'm actually an ordained priest, recognized by the government of the United States and a state registered clergyman. So I can actually officiate wedding. So if anybody are planning to get married in Massachusetts or anywhere in the U.S. Northeast, in New England, I should say, I can come to you. So I can officiate the wedding. It could be traditional Christian kind of wedding. It could be civil union kind of wedding, or we can make it very spiritual, and we can invite a demon to your wedding. So it will be fun if that's what you want. I'm going to post I'm going to put up a listing soon, and then I actually have the website already purchased. I've been procrastinating. So I have already purchased the domains. I've already paid for the plans. I just have to like get my butt, sit down, and get my act together and put it out there. So I'm going to put it out soon enough that I can officiate wedding in Massachusetts. It's kind of quiet today. We are missing all these self-defense and spiritual warfare people on this channel. I guess maybe Sunday morning is slow. Does anybody have questions about black magic or the occult or the weather? Yeah, that's true. I guess Saturday is better. But I guess like Saturday is not as good for our friends in Asia like yourself. It's like Saturday night at 10. So, people are like partying. They're out with their friends, things like that. But Saturday morning is traditionally more easier for people in the North American zone. I guess Sunday morning, people are just like sleeping in after a party on Saturday, right? I can actually host a whole mass on Sunday, which I'm legally entitled to do. That will be fun. FG said, I think Hong Kong will like Saturday night. We are not teenagers, go partying, ha ha ha. Yeah, that's true. Well, somebody told me that Hong Kong is very quiet these days, right? Like people don't go out anymore, or if they do, they go partying in Shenzhen, or they go partying in China, or they just fly out to like wherever, right? To like all the cheap places like Vietnam and Thailand, and then the party there. So much more is happening in Asia. FG said that yes, they all go to mainland China. Yeah, because I guess like you guys could like check in Kowloon, right? And then there's this high speed rail that takes you anywhere in China. FGFG said, no need, give normal train. I don't know. I haven't been to Asia for a long time now. I think the last time I was there was like 1990. Yes, I'm that old. I'm old enough to remember the fall of the Berlin Wall. Anybody remember that? Hong Kong to Shenzhen, just 35-minute train. Oh, that's great. That's great. Do you clear customs when you're in Hong Kong, or do you have to go to that border to clear custom? Oh, okay. Just pass through custom. There must be a lot of people there, though, right? On the weekends. After get off train station. Oh, okay. I guess like in the North American zone, you just get on your car and then you drive, right? We don't have a lot of borders here in this zone. If you go to Canada or if you're Canadian coming here, then you have to go through the border. But it's usually just we call it wave and pass if you're a Canadian citizen or if you're a US citizen. It was, I don't know what it is these days. I haven't been back for a while, but in the old days, it was just really relaxed at the border. Like they didn't even check the passenger. I remember like this was before September 11th, right? But like it was this time, me and a bunch of friends was driving to Canada, and there was like 5 people in the car, and the border guard just stuck his head into the car and said, "What's the citizenship in the car?" We said American, Canadian, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, "Okay, just go." Like, he didn't even shine the flashlight into the car. Like it was like 2 a.m. too, right? But like he didn't ask any questions. He didn't check anything. We could be armed to the teeth, but who cares? We just drove right by the border. I guess it's a little bit harder these days. They're more paranoid these days. FGFG said, Dion, I have a question for you. FGFG said, I'm typing. I think someone had questions, had asked you before. Oh, that's great. So when I have time, I'm going to put out more content during the week. I actually got the channel remonetized now, so it gives me more incentive to put out more content on this channel. I'm making a whopping $1.50 a day, so that's quite something. It's all good, but like I don't really care the exact money, but it gives me some kind of like benchmark and motivation to put out more content. How would you describe the difference between Satan and Lucifer? Ask FGFG. That's a good question. Like, what do you mean though? So Satan was documented in. Now I don't know how these spirits are actually. I don't know how long they've been around. I don't know the exact age. I can tell you Satan was documented in the Old Testament, the book of Job. And Lucifer, um, it was at 2 Kings where they talk about Lucille, which meant morning light, and morning star. And the context is that as to lead humanity from darkness into the light, and the only star that you can see in the morning was Venus. So people say that's why people say Lucifer is Venus. But that's not actually But like Lucifer was actually more like a medieval Renaissance kind of spirit. I guess like for Renaissance time, people are trying to shake off the hold that the church has on humanities, and Lucifer become a symbol for enlightenment. And by enlightenment, I mean like rational, scientific, scholarly thinking, rather than everything have to revolve around the church and superstition towards quote unquote God, right? So I mean, different styles. Yeah, that's a good question. Ask FGFG. So Satan is more like cunning. And at least that's how I find in the beginning, right? Like Satan is more like cunning. Uh, he's more free step ahead kind of chess player. Satan is more Saturnian. He's also Jupiterian, but he's more Saturnian. So kind of like more covert in his influence, manipulative kind of way. Um, he's also very verbally gifted. So sometimes a lot of spirits, when you met them, they're not talking. And then after a while, you might be able to hear that spirit talk to you. That's Satan or one of Satan's disciples translating for that particular spirit. So Satan is very verbally gifted. Um, well, Lucifer is more like a solar spirit. He has more to do with power and more raw power. Um, yeah. So I guess like does that answer your question? Like Lucifer is kind of like a muscle guy, kind of like Rambo, whereas Satan is more like James Bond. So if you want like more raw power, I guess that's the path, right? Like if you want to like work out a lot, if you just want to go faster, if you want to become more muscular, uh, if you're inclined to solve problem with by adding more power to it, that's Lucifer. And Lucifer also is more prideful, take less shit. As in Satan would advise you to just play it cool. You don't have to settle score today. There's a chance to. Hello, Saxon. How are you? There's a chance to get them back in a later date. Whereas Lucifer would just take no shit, and then he would test your pride. And if you want to work with Lucifer, you kind of have to be like prideful. By that I mean like you have to be like techno shit, that kind of personality, and fight more in the open. Saxon said, haha, I love your example of Rambo and James Bond. That's true. Thank you, Saxon. But I'm saying that because it's true, right? They have different ways to solve their problems. And Satan is much more witty. Like he will insult you, but like not in an open way, as in Lucifer would just tell you the way it is. Well, Satan also do that actually. So maybe because I'm just stupid sometimes. Um, like selling Bitcoin at 9,000, 8,000. So every spirit did the face palm when I did that. But I needed money at the time. So, you know, Saxon said I'm good. So you're still in Thailand, right? Oh, this is a Thai New Year, right, Saxon? Are you enjoying your party? The Songkran Festival? Yes, that's perfect. Is that what it is? Yes, I'm still here. Are you getting wet? Are people throwing water at you? Yes, it's amazing. I love it. That's great. I've been to Thailand when I was like 5 years old. I remember walking around a temple and putting coins into a monk's plate. That was pretty much it. Yeah, Thailand is so much fun, man. I wish I'm there. Like all you people in Asia, you guys are so lucky, right? You guys have like all the best food, the best weather, the best fun. Like out in the North American sphere, right? Like after 8 o'clock, everything is closed. Nobody wants to go out. And if you go out, you'll be going to your friend's house and barbecue, right? Which is fine, which is fun. But like, there's no culture where you just go out and do things, right? Even in New York, the city that never sleeps at around 10 o'clock. Like, don't let people talk you into thinking that Manhattan is happening. Like after 10 o'clock, the only thing is open is like Burger King and Taco Bell. They can't even get like anything done in Manhattan. But in like, Tokyo or Hong Kong, and I guess in Singapore, like places are open much later, right? Or even in Bangkok, right? Right, Saxon? Like fake places are open much later into the night, right? Saxon said, I was super wet yesterday, couldn't even dry up the whole day. I actually prefer Asia, yes. Yeah, that's great, man. And you guys could even like spray water to the police and like they don't mind, right? That's what I've been told. Like they're part of the fun. Ha ha ha, I think Asian people are lucky if you talk about traveling. Yes, it's true. So, Saxon, can I tell our friends that you've been to China? Saxon has actually worked in China for a while. Saxon said, yeah, water to everyone. Of course, yes. So at some point, you guys might have already met Saxon while you were traveling. Saxon said he has lived in China for 3 years. Where in China did you live, Saxon? I know a little bit, but like tell our friends here so they can relate. Yeah, it's a little bit quiet here today. Hangzhou was it was 1 hour from Shanghai by train. There was a lot of canals in Hangzhou, right? That's what I've been told. I've never been. It's a beautiful city from what I've been told. Good food. They're like restaurant right on the river, right? From what I've seen. Oh, they have this. Hangzhou is good with tea, right? I guess like everywhere in China is good with tea, but there's this. How do you call that? FGFG. What do you call that? Like that flower you put into Chinese tea, the yellow flower, chrysanthemum. Is that what it was called? Chrysanthemum. Yes, that's it. Yes, that's like a Hangzhou kind of product, right? Chrysanthemum. Uh, those are very good in my tea, right? By train, it's beautiful. You've Lakeview, yes, I know. Said FGFG, yep. Michelle said chrysanthemum. Saxon said, yep. Nice. Where else have you traveled, Saxon? Saxon, would you like to share with our friends here what you do for a living? I think they will be very impressed. Yeah, so over here, it's kind of quiet in Boston. I have like one huge project for Occult that I'm working on, but I'm still dealing with the government, so better not jinx it. Maybe in a month or two, I'm going to show you, and you guys will be shocked at what I'm doing. This is why I haven't updated my site or my store or my IG in like forever, because I'm just working on this huge project. And once that thing is online, everyone will feel seems trivial. Hey, hello, Star C Kane. How are you from IG? How are you? So we are both on IG and on YouTube. Saxon said, "Oh, I'm a model. I've just been to China and Thailand for now." See, Saxon here is a model. For anybody who are trying to break into the modeling industry, you should talk to Saxon here. Michelle Ang said, "Looking forward. Update more on your IG soon." Haha. Yes, I will. I will, definitely. Saxon said, "Do you mind sharing with us what it is?" So, Saxon, earlier I have told everybody that I'm working on the Black Magic Club, which is my IG handle. I've already brought the domain, I brought the website. I've just been procrastinating putting it up. So it will be like a monthly subscription for powerful rituals. Um, so it will be have like a few tiers. On the lower tiers, we're going to have like weekly rituals, and then weekly Reiki sessions and a bunch of goodies. And then of the medium tier, you're going to have everyday rituals for planetary blessings and all kinds of angels and demons and Reiki sessions or whatever that I can come up with that month. Basically, whatever I do for myself, I would do for everybody in the club. And on the higher tier of subscriptions, we're going to have this uh, non-stop supermassive ritual going on, which is a supermassive ritual is me and a group of ordained Brahmin priests in India will be chanting mantra magics for you non-stop, day and night, 24 hours, 7, a whole team of them, 5 or 6 of them. If more people join, we'll have more priests chanting mantras for us. So it will be like a million or two, like 1.5 million rituals every month, right? Like small rituals every month. So it's going to be crazy. So that's one end of the spectrum. And then I'm working with the government for some other projects. And the reason I don't want to say it because it kind of jinx it. So I'll tell you in a month if it goes the way I want, or 2 months. Or when you deal with the government, it could be like a little bit longer than that, but whatever. But it's on the docket. Baco both said Chakara Laga said show some miracle. Care to expand on that, please? Um, Saxon said, nice, that's amazing. I'll be there. Rituals to increase magic power. Yes, actually, I will also have a separate tiers for um, professional, which is quote unquote, or professional or practicing black magicians. I just got kicked out of Instagram, so I have to like jump back on. Okay, let me jump back on IG. All right, we are back on IG. Yeah, I think every hour they kick. I guess like every hour they kick me out of IG now. I think they've limited how long you can stream. Bucker said, by show some miracle, I directly mean how to check if a magician is real or fake. Well, I get asked that a lot, and I don't feel that it is something that I need to prove to anybody. I have a lot of good people here that I worked with before, and they're happy with what I provided, and that's good enough. Just the Lost Witcher joined. Be Attuned have joined. Yeah. I think IG should really I don't know why they keep doing that. Saxon said like me, haha. I mean, I guess I have I don't really care if somebody believe or not. You can believe it's real, you can believe it's fake. There are what 6-7 billion people on Earth. Some of them I care more than others. Happy customers at Saxon. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. All right. Yeah, not going to do that. FGFG said, it's okay, Dion. I know your powers. Thank you. It's like daring Bob Dylan to sing you a song, No. I mean, who the hell are you, right? Sorry, that's Satan. Do you know when it comes to hierarchy where the jin's king standing, I mean, compared to Lucifer and Satan? Well, they're kind of different. Well, first of all, if you're working with me, then you don't have to worry about the hierarchy. The hierarchy is it's kind of like what modern occultists say. And like in medieval time, right? Like there's a hierarchy of kings and duchess and captains and knights and things. So our mind is as far as what our reality could dictate, right? Like our imagination goes as far as what we can see. And every time we evolve as humanity, our imagination goes a little bit further. So for the people who wrote the Ars Goetia, for the people who wrote Memoriam Verum, their perspective of the world is the king is at the top and then it dribbles down. And I guess for modern occultists too, they kind of want to go through this hierarchy because they want to place themselves at the top of the hierarchy. So, if you want to buy their system, you have to kind of go through the imps and the lieutenants and things like that. And in my experience, I guess I'm lucky that I'm working with these spirits directly. I don't know if I answered your questions. Like the Din King, they do their own thing, right? All the Dins and all the genies, they're all doing their own thing, right? Like I said before, working with a very famous spirit doesn't necessarily bring you more results. It sounded like it would be, but in reality, in measurable outcome, it's not, right? Saxon said, oh, okay. I get why there were so many hierarchies in those books. Well, specifically, it's wrong, right? Because in Ars Goetia, Astaroth was a duke. And in grammarian room, Asheroth is at the top of the food chain, right? And so that's demonstrably contradictory, right? Also, from a scholarly perspective, the people who wrote the Asquetia wanted to include Satan, Lucifer, and Beelzebub in the Asquetia, but they thought it would be too controversial at the time, so they didn't include the three quote-unquote kings, right? So in their mind, like Satan, Lucifer, and Beelzebub will be like super kings or like emperor, right? And they're also including, it depends on your perspective too, right? Asquetia was written in France, as far as I can tell, by clergy students. And demons like Valak or Farquhars are from Eastern Europe. Valak was actually very widely worshipped and conjured in Transylvania. But he was kind of like a lower demon in the Asquetia because there was not a lot of interaction between the French and I guess the Baltic Transylvanians. So that's why it was bumped lower in the Asquetia hierarchy. Yes, and true, Baal was the super god. Like Baal was even more widely worshipped than Yahweh in the Canaanite land. You can actually make a case that in the time of Jesus, Baal was the main deity to worship in Jesus' land. There were enough scholars at the time to argue that Jesus was the son of Baal, not Yahweh, right? I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying a lot of scholars in the first 200 years AD put out a strong enough case to say that Jesus was son of Baal. Even though these days we think the promised land was promised to the Israelites, evidence will show you that Baal was the dominant god at the time. Like Romans build temples for Baal. Romans did not build temples for Yahweh. Romans built temples for Asheroth, right? But as far as I know, Romans never built a temple for Yahweh. I'm not ranking them. I'm just saying it is what it is, right? Those are the historical facts. Saxon said, yes, actually, in the Gracia, I never understood why Asheroth, Asmodeus, and Belial. That's true. Like Asmodeus is also like a super god, archangel, demon, jinn, right? Like you can trace Asmodeus throughout multiple cultures over several millenniums, right? Actually, Asmodeus was a king in Croatia, right? So is Belial. But it is what it is. But Belial and Asmodeus was not in the Grand Grimoire, nor were they in the Grammarian room. The other two major grimoires at the time, right? Yeah. So good questions, good philosophical questions. Belial was actually mentioned in the Bible, but not as a deity. They said like a sons. They call the people who causes chaos the sons of Belial. So that's where that came from. So it's Mammon, right? Mammon was not a demon. Mammon was just like the sin of greed. And then later it was personified as a spirit, a supermassive egregore, sort of. So Mammon was actually in the Bible. The word Mammon was in the Bible, but not as demon. So yeah, so that's pretty good discussion so far. FG said, "Last Asmodeus, last king. I have a friend worked with him. Yeah, that's great. Asmodeus be very popular. So according to a book, so I'm just telling you the origin story, right? If you have heard somebody would say Asmodeus was the son of Lilith and Samael, that was from a novel, a book from the 1st century AD. So that's not actually the case. The legend of Lilith being the first wife of Adam also came from a novel. I forgot the name. We can look it up later. But it came from a novel in the 1st century AD. So there was this misconception that that wasn't the Bible. Um, FG said, Dion, do you work a lot with Queen Lilith? Well, a lot of clients has asked for her, and she has been very kind to me. So every time I do a ritual for the client, it's also me talking to the spirits. That's why I started the store, is so that I can do more rituals and talk to a more variety of spirits. And, and hence I work a lot with Lilith that way. And she had been blessing me with a lot of goodness in my life. So yeah, I work with Lilith a lot. A lot of the lipstick listing that I have, which is very popular. A lot of people have asked to work with Lilith uh, on that listing. So like a lot of Lilith binded lipstick are flowing out there. Just a Lost Bewitcher from IG said, I am from the YouTube channel. I want to talk to Lucifuge Raphael. I'm a beginner, but I have a lot of theoretical knowledge about Lucifuge, and I want to make a wealth pact with him. Yeah, that's a interesting proposition. Yeah, go to my store and purchase either lifelong pact with a spirit, or if you are more adventurous, purchase the eternal pact with a spirit, and then I walk you through the process. I think Lucifuge Raphael is a well, he's tough though. He's not not going to just give you money. Even if you sign a pact with him, you have to serve his purpose. Like he'll get you to do things for him, and depends on how well you've done your task, he will reward you accordingly. FGFG said, Dion, have you faced any situation that a spirit said to you, he or she not want working with you? Well, they always appreciate when I contact them. Um, I won't say not working, but like even if they are not into working with that project with me, they will send somebody to work with me. But as long as you just need to have like a good divine purpose, right? Sometimes you ask somebody for help and it's not their area of expertise, or they're doing something and then they send somebody else to help you along. That's usually the case. But like sometimes, well, a lot of time that will be like what clients are asking that are like totally stupid or crazy. Like somebody wishing to win all the lotteries from here on eternity. Or we have a gentleman that wish for $1 trillion. And then every other day he will be like emailing me and said, my wish hasn't come true yet. What your $1 trillion wish? Um, Sometimes they would just not respond at all. Like if you wish for some, or if somebody wished for something stupid, it's just not worth their time to respond. I guess like a lot of times it will be like they will. I won't say they say that to you, but they will signal that your wish is stupid, but come back when you grow up, right? You get what I'm saying? Maybe they're gung ho in marrying Britney Spears or something, and and this. I'm not saying that he is a friend of Britney or even close to her orbit, right? And then they would be very agitated when Britney Spears does not jump into their life within 3 days of making a wish, and then they would just nag you nonstop. Those kind of wishes. Um, I guess like if they ignore you or if they told you no, it's like a signal for you to change, not for them to accept you. You get what I'm saying? It's all about coming from you. If a spirit doesn't want to work with you, that's your issue, not their issue. Um, Saxon said, I have accelerated my experiences and added 4 demons to work with: Elgos, Mabas, Boar, and Apples. Do you think it's a good thing to mix many demons, especially I'm already working with Lucifer and Astaroth? Um, as long as you are clear about your purpose and what you're doing, and you're receiving proper signals and connecting with them, and you're not mixing them up. I mean, like the 4 demons you talk about are from the Ascoasia, and they have a um, good experience working with humans. They will know what to do. Um, I mean, what do you mean by working? Do you have a an outer setup for them in your house? Just the Lost Witcher said he is a master of manifestation, and I feel drawn to him. That's great. That's great. So on Instagram, just the Lost Witcher, once you work with Lucifer Raphael, it sounded like you have read a lot about him. And yeah, spirits always welcome an offering and you saying a polite hello. Saxon said, yeah, for each one of them, I have a specific purpose related to the abilities. Yeah, I think, from what I get from the astral space, they're comfortable with your request. They said it's going to take some time to, well, it's going to take some time for you to get into their orbit, right? But just if you're just starting out, just put a ton of offerings on your altar. Don't be cheap. I guess that's my advice for a beginner. This is an expensive hobby. Saxon said, "No, I don't have an altar yet." Yeah, I guess you're still traveling, right? I'm not in my home, so I cannot set something. But now it's more evoking. That's my issue, though. I can't settle altar now. Yeah, I guess like find ways to to offer them things. They need the energy to intervene in the human world. I guess that's one advantage for monotheistic religion, right? Because everybody just combine all the offerings into one focused deity, right? So that deity is going to be strong. That deity is going to have a lot of energy to intervene, right? Keep in mind, like most occultists are not offering enough. Like they're offering candies or they are offering some food. That's fine. That's great. But like keep in mind, in the ancient world, like half of the GDP is devoted to building temples and honoring gods and things like that. And like they would plunder a city, and then the entire wealth of that city will be offered to their god, right? So that's the kind of scale of offering that we're talking about in order to move the world, you know. So yeah, so just Lost Bewitcher. Yeah, so if you're interested in making a pact, you know, go to my store and select the appropriate um, listing, and we will get working on your case. Definitely later, I would love to give sculpture offerings like big ones. Yes. Now, sometimes you can offer some of your future to them. They may or may not take it. I guess the danger is like, don't forget, right? Like, let's say you offer my mom, like, I'll give you $1 billion if you give me $1,000,001, right? And then one day, you know, you stumble on some stocks, and then that company went skyrocketed, and then you're a billionaire, and then you forgot to give Boone that $1 billion on her altar, or my mom on her altar, and then you know bad things going to happen. Dion, I think you can set an offering service helping people do the offerings for them. Yes, that's what most temples are for, right? You go to Buddhist temple or even Taoist temple, you can put down the offering in front of the gods, in front of their of the idol, right? And then they'll keep you offering. Actually, that's just how banking started, right? You know, FGFG, people would like put down their wealth or their cash at a temple as an offering, but with a promise that at some point in the future they'll come back and the temple is going to give it back to them. Or if I remember correctly, for the Buddhist and Taoist tradition, a lot of people would quote unquote bring all their belongings to the temple as an offering, especially ladies. And then when the age of retirement comes along, the temple would take them in as old monks to live in the temple and then spend their old age retired in that temple, right? So yeah, so the offering services is a huge part of human history. It's a huge part of our financial history, right? Um, this is actually why the Catholic Church becomes so powerful, is because they become a banking institute. And so most of the monotheistic religion becomes so powerful because they are like banks. FG said, is your cat around you? No. Is it my breathing sounds like a cat? Or maybe the cat spirit is around you, FG. Section said, oh, I also wanted to ask something. Is inviting a demon to use the astral energy of a food that you're eating considered an official offering? Yes, it is. Yes. I like to offer all of my food before I eat them. I think I might have told you. I definitely said this in my live stream before. I have this huge dinner table of food offered to Belial. So yeah, so like there's always a buffet of feast going on in my house for Belial. Well, I can do that because it's very cold in Boston and food doesn't spoil so quickly, right? If you're in Thailand, leaving food open for more than an hour could cause you other issues. So do whatever that makes sense. So in Catholics and I think in Muslim too, you say grace before meal, right? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Bless us, thy Lord, for these gifts which are about to eat, blah blah blah. That is also like an offering to their God to say grace before meal. Saxon said, "Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you talk about it. Yes. I enjoy talking about it though. So maybe in the future you can open a restaurant and then offer all the food to the spirits before you serve it to your clients." After you said, "I always hear a cat's voice around me." Huh? That's interesting. Maybe in the background, I think. Really? Does anybody hear a cat? Saxa said that's a smart idea. Yeah, we are always thinking about how to give more offerings. That should be part of your game as a black magician. It was a big part of what I was doing before. And now I'm like a level up because I'm kind of partnering with them. So like they find me useful because I do things for them and I work with them, I partner with them, and then we are co-creator and things, right? So like that's one step ahead of just giving offers. But yeah, so when I started, I'm always thinking about what more can I offer them? What more gifts can I buy them? If I go shopping, I'm thinking of what can I buy to put on my altar. I guess that's a luxury in North America because our houses are like a lot bigger and we can like put more altars everywhere. It could be card if you are living in Asia where the apartments are small, or if you're working with your parents and they go, "What the hell is this?" And Jost paper to Jost money, I collect them. A big collection of them. Daily XTWS said hello. Hello. How are you, my friend, on IG? So if you're joining us on IG, we are also on YouTube. And if you see a comment that you don't see on your stream, that means I'm reading it off YouTube and vice versa. FGFG said the sound like asking for food from you. I don't have a cat, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. Haha. Yeah, it could be spirits of a cat. I had my roommate had Kitty that was about 2 years old, and then she died from FIV cancer at a very young age. We were all very sad. So maybe the spirit of that cat is still around this house. Saxon said, "What do you mean by cards? Cats. We're talking about cats. Like, is that what you mean, Saxon?" All right. Does anybody have any more questions? We go on for pretty good, an hour and a half. We started off slow. It is a quiet day, so we have a good amount of people right now on YouTube. So I'm pretty happy. Thank you, Michelle and FGFG and Saxon and my friends from IG for asking these questions. Keep the stream going for a while. We miss the spiritual warfare people. This week we don't get to talk about spiritual warfare and samurais. Maybe we can go back to that next week. Oh, hey, IG Achibukaka. Hey, finally you've made it. How are you? Just as before, we are both live on IG and we're both on YouTube. So it's just we have some interesting discussion going on. Achibukaka said, hello, I'm okay. Hey, good to hear from you, my friend. Sorry we started before you arrived. Saxon said, no, I mean when you said we could give cards, especially for living in Asia. What? Did I say that? I'm trying to remember what I said. I don't think I said card. Actually, I know it actually made the news a while ago. There was this Buddhist monk going around offering enlightenment services for people's cars. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, that was actually a very popular article, like probably 5 years ago, about this guy offering his BMW to the gods in Asia. So I guess like there are people that offers their cars, right? I know people offers their yard to the spirits. I know people offered their jets to the spirits. Um, Hello, I'm okay. I heard samurai. Yes, I did say samurai. Yeah, so usually we had a contingent of people here that talk about um, spiritual warfare and samurais and fighting, all the good stuff. And we are missing that contingent of people this week, which I'm okay. We have a pretty good discussion going on. We had a gentleman that wants me to perform a miracle right here, and I politely declined. So that was fun. In case you missed it, um, it's when you talk about apartments in Asia can be smaller. That's true. So in those situations, what they offer big material things like are still in the day-to-day life. Um, well, my Asian contingent could tell you about like the ancestor altars, right? They put like fruits on it. Actually, Thailand, you are in like the heart of black magic, man. There's so many black magic and necromancy going on there. You should really go check them out, right? So, like, there are Buddhist temples that are mostly monks, and there are also like street magicians. Now, some of them are good, some of them are bad. So, you kind of have to look out for the scams. Or I won't say just scams, but like if they're too deep into necromancy, I would be very careful about spreading of pathogens. That's what I'm truly worried about if you're just exploring um, the underworld of black magic in Thailand. So you have a good health insurance and understand the role of antibiotics. But what is it? So yeah, so my Asian friends here could tell you they put a lot of stuff on the ancestor worship altars. A lot of Asian people would put like gold bars and stuff on the ancestral altars, or sometimes they have like Asians also have like their regional gods, and deity, and they would put a lot of very valuable things on it. Also, in times of war in ancient time, guess which places was attacked first. It's mostly the temples, because the warlords would loot the temples for all the valuables that were being stored there. That's why we got warrior monks. So Saxon says, so in those situations when they offer big material things, like they're still using it in their daily life. I guess they do. Like if you offer your car, but I guess if you're a billionaire, you have so many cars. If you can offer your Lamborghini, right? Because you can only drive it for so far. So if you never owned an exotic car before, you don't actually own the car, you lease the car, right? Or if you buy the car outright, your car is unsellable. Your car is worthless if you drive it more than a certain miles. So most of the exotic cars you see, like all the Lamborghinis and the Bugattis, nobody actually drives them. They're just sitting on the garage, right? So my point is, if you have a Maserati, I guess Maserati, you still drive it. If you have like a Bugatti or something, right, you may as well offer it to your spirits, because it's just going to be sitting there anyways, right? The downside is, if you use the things that once you offered the spirits, they will be very low in vibration, and they will be very low in astral energy. Sometimes I will regift something to friends after it has been offered to the spirits, like sometimes like exotic chocolates and stuff like that. Achipaka said miracle. Yes, you can scroll up on YouTube and you can find that conversation. It was interesting. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so sometimes I would like regift gifts that were on the altar because I was in a hurry, and then I find that they would either misplace the gift, or they forget to thank you, or it would just be like a very low vibration situation. Or if I put cash on the altar, I used to do that. Oh, another fun thing you can do with how to refresh your offering is I would put cash on the altar. So okay, go back to the story, right? If I put cash on the altar and then I use those cash to buy things, it would usually result in like some very low vibration situations. Like if I bring it to gamble, I will lose the money. Or if I would like use it for food in a restaurant, I would get like bad service, or the food tastes bad, or they would overcharge me, or we dispute the bills and things like that, right? So once you've offered the stuff, it will have very low vibration in the physical world. So I would advise you not to use it. But if you're a billionaire, then you can offer your BMW, no problem, right? Oh, okay. My trick. You want to hear a trick about offerings? So I would say like laundering my money in the casino. By that, I would have like, let's say I have $1,000 on my altar, and had been sitting there for like a month, right? So by the time then the vibration is pretty much gone, and you can't really use the money, right? So I would go to a casino, I would put some meaningless bet, and then I'll cash out. So I will have a fresh set of bills. I can either put back on the altar and we'll use it. So that's how you recycle the things that were on the altar. So for the BMW, right, you will offer it to the spirits. I guess you'll sell it, and then you'll buy a different BMW and then drive it. Saxon said, yeah, I see those offerings and altars. They have deities, altars everywhere, even in the streets. Yes. Like if I were to visit Thailand, I would like dive deep into that. Maybe this is your homework, Saxon. Time to learn necromancy. Will the spirit not be pleased? FGFG asks, what do you mean? There's a lot to learn about black magic in Thailand. The whole Southeast Asia are like a steep in black magic. There's so many learning opportunities. Saxon said, okay, I understand now. So there's a lot to be explored here. I guess we can write a whole book on it. So with black magic, so like the ritual itself is like a form, right? And then you kind of have to like look for energy to put into these rituals and to put into this manifestation, and how to generate energy and how to give energy. So that is a big part of black magic that nobody has talked about. So in IG Daily ask, is there any bad karma associated with love spell? That's a so hello on IG Wave. Indonesia is also very deep in black magic. That is very true. Does anybody have experience with Thai love spell, Indonesian love spell, or Malaysian black love spell? I heard a lot about them. So on IG Daily asks, is there any bad karma associated with love spell? That's a good question. I guess like the karma really comes from your intention, right? If your intention is to sort of like force somebody to love you, it's going to come back to you, right? In Western ceremonial magic, we don't really believe in karma. I mean, there are some cause and effects kind of karma. Also, keep in mind, karma has like two definitions, right? Karma is the cause and effect karma. Karma is also an entanglement in human affairs that blocks you from other things to come into your life, right? So if you cast a love spell on a relationship that is pretty much hopeless, right? You are further entangling yourself in human affairs into the dirt, right? And you're going to feel much more, I guess, how do you say, much more tied up. You'll find it harder to see the light and become enlightened. That kind of karma, I guess, is more appropriate to describe love spell, right? Daily said, my grandpa is from Indonesia. That's great. Do you have any stories, black magic story to share, my friend? I guess it's not karma, but if you kind of the people who cast a lot of love spell, or people who believes that they need love spell, are also manipulative kind of people, right? I guess that's what they are experiencing as the downside on the long run. So in real life context, right, the people who say the love spell got backfired usually are the kind of people that have personality issues, right? Let's say if in lieu of love spell, you manipulated someone to love you, right? And then later on, they find out that they're being manipulated, or they feel that you're manipulating them, or they feel that you're over controlling or overbearing them, and they snap back at you, right? That's the cause and effect of quote unquote love spell. It's not the love spell itself that snaps, that broke your relationship. It's not the karma. It's you, right? You get what I'm saying? Daily on IG said, that's my experience with the Goetia too. I became too focused on material things. My grandpa had a ghost in an attic. He went to a medicine man. He had to sacrifice a chicken. Interesting thoughts, thank you. So how did that go with your grandpa? Did he see any results from sacrificing the chicken? I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty bad to be sacrificing animals, right? But like, I just went to the grocery store and I brought like 8 pounds of like chicken meat, right? That chicken has to come from somewhere. So, people are uncomfortable killing an animal, but they're happy to eat them. Saxon said, haha, why not? I'll do more research about the underground of black magic. Saxon said, yeah, it's true. Southeast Asia is the place. Saxon said, I don't have any experience, but I went to a restaurant once and they had altar and deity pictures. Ganesh, I think. And I can tell that my whole body was feeling the energy and my ears were vibrating. That air was very heavy. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true, my friend. Time to seek out more of those experiences. And also, I hope I'm not like veering too far off um, topic, but Catholics are also necromancers. If you go to I don't know if they still do it. If you go to like a church with the name of a saint in it, chances are there are some body parts of that saint in that church. And the church believes that by having the body parts of a saint, it will give them more power during the rituals. In the old days, churches have catacombs in the basement. Catacombs are like where they sort of like quote unquote bury the bodies, but the place is still, well, you can look up what a catacomb is, and then the priest will routinely go down to the catacombs and take out human bones and body parts to be part of their daily mass. So don't tell me that Catholicism and Christians are anti necromancy or anti human sacrifice. Um, in fact, they would cut up bodies of saints and then they would ship it all the way around the world um, for their alleged magical power. So at the end, Christianity are not that much different from the street necromancer Ajahn in Thailand. Saxon asks, do you have any idea where I should start looking? Or should I ask to find? That's a good question. I don't really know. I guess if I have some contact, I will try to send you, and then you can go, and then you can send me some pictures. Or just ask a cab driver, right? That's like a gangster way to do things. Cab drivers, or ask your hotel concierge. see if they can like hook you up, right? Like you call up the front desk and say, concierge, how can I help you? We can get you reservations on theater and restaurants. Actually, I would like to contact a necromancer. Do you have any recommendations? Lord Darkness said, what about the yin and the yang energy in the body? You can manifest something physical. Yeah, definitely. I guess you need to be more specific, Lord of Darkness. Saxon said, maybe the old ladies working in the hotels. Hey, you never know, right? I hear a lot of stories about Westerners getting trapped in Thailand because the ladies cast a love spell on them and they can never leave Thailand. I've known a few of my clients who went to Thailand and then, they had a drink with a lady and then, they could absolutely not stop thinking about them. I know there's this whole tourism of Asian people would go to Thailand and they would buy love spells. And they will also buy curses from Thailand too. So So, Lord of Darkness, maybe you could be more specific. Yin and Yang is more kind of more like energy itself, and you can manifest anything with that energy. Saxon said, "Yeah, I heard stories like that too. Yeah, we can fill an epic of bookshelf with those stories. The thing is, like, how real it is, I don't know, but it's more like the worst love spell story or the most powerful love spell story I heard are not from the people who purchase a love spell or in a love spell, but more like their partner is dating somebody else, and they had a strong suspicion that their romantic rivalry had purchased a love spell in Thailand. Like that's the strongest story. Like most of the stories are from like third person, right? Like more like I know somebody who was under a love spell, right? Not like the victim or the perpetrator themselves. Lord of Darkness said, like an object, like a pen, or give a physical form to a servitor that you created with the yin and yang. Excuse me. Yeah, I think you should definitely do that, Lord of Darkness. I think there's a lot of energy in that. You can definitely power your servitors with your yin and yang energy. I don't know about moving a pen though. Well, I should say I haven't had success moving a pen across the table with yin and yang, but you should definitely try it. Well, I haven't had a lot of practice. Maybe with enough time and practice, you can do it. Or maybe you're actually referring to Qigong, right? Lord of Darkness. Or it's more like a Japanese would say a Reiki kind of energy. Like the Force from Star Wars. Saxon said, if I buy any spell, it will be more about increasing my power and spiritual senses. That's true. You can also buy, like my Asian friends here could maybe attest to this. I'm not an expert. There's a lot of like amulets you can buy in the streets of Thailand, right? But just be careful about what's in it. I know a lot of the liquid you see inside a Thai amulets are actually fluids from deceased bodies. So A, it's gross, and B, it could carry human pathogens. So that's where I would be more concerned than bad juju. Now, my Asian friends, if you guys are still around, FG or Michelle, if you guys are still around, right, maybe you can tell Saxon. There's this ritual that they do in the temples, right? It's called like third eye opening or opening lights or something. I think it will be worthwhile to check it out, Saxon. Saxon said, I'm not concerned about people attacking me spiritually, anyways. Yes, that's true. I won't say I would invite it, but I'm also like not paranoid about it. Like those temples, they say they are better than everybody because they're detached from the material world. That's not true. If you give them enough money, they will do anything. So I guess like inquire if they have any rituals to help your spirituality. It shouldn't be that expensive because of the currency exchange rate, right? Saxon said, yes, definitely. Saxon said, yeah, I also think it's not going to be expensive. Michelle Ang said, yes, I think Thailand may have quite a temple who does that. Michelle, maybe you can give Saxon some recommendation on what he can do in his spiritual quest in Thailand, or like what to ask for in a Thai temple. What's that ritual that they do? Open light. Maybe you can like explain to us Westerners how to approach that. Lord Darkness said, what I am truly hinting is the creation of all things technique from Naruto, also newly Virtuos said you can manipulate many physical things like elements and objects with your energy. That is very true. That is very true. Have you had any lessons or experiences with Qigong, Lord of Darkness? Saxon said, yes, if you know, please add Michelle. Michelle said, eye opening, I'm not sure, as I only went to four-faced Buddha before. Now I don't go to any temples anymore. Maybe you can help Saxon go to a temple in Malaysia or something, seeing that it may be closer to where you live. FG said, I think some Goetia spirits hate helping those people who has done those Thai thing rituals. Uh, I'm I won't say that in definite terms, you know. When you say Goetia spirits, it could be there are 72 of them, right? So it could be come down to each spirit's individual preference, and also depends on Thai things rituals, right? You know, there are different levels of Thai monks and ajahns and all the things that they do. Saxon said, oh, I see, it's okay though, thanks. Oh, Daily on IG said that's exactly what the Methodist man said would happen. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit behind on IG. So Daily said on IG, yes, the ghost moved to another place in his house, but the ghost would weep. That's exactly what the medicine man said would happen. Yeah. And then what happened afterward? Did you guys clear the house, or did you guys make some kind of resolution with the ghost that was living there? All right, so we are approaching the 2 hour mark here. We're actually having a good conversation with friends from all around the world. Good participations from people from Asia. Good participation from my friend Saxon in Thailand. The long-waited heckler who dared the black magician to show his miracle. Well, I mean, I don't want to single you out, right? Like, I can understand why that gentleman would jump in and ask for a miracle, right? But like, here's the analogy, right? Do you go to Bill Gates and ask him to prove to you that he's a billionaire by giving you some money, right? Okay, we got kicked off IG again. All right, so we're wrapping up anyways. So I don't see why. Maybe we should just wrap up IG here. FGFG said, I know a story before, but can't say it in public. You can just anonymize all the specifics, right? This is how we do case studies in medicine and in psychology. You have to anonymize it enough that it will pass muster in court. That's all you have to do. FGFG said, remember the Goetia spirit said strong no. I mean, it depends on what who the person is and what the ritual was and your intention and things like that. It's kind of different system of magic. I think like in Thailand, in Asia, it's very much you're working with deceased human spirits. And so is like Haitian voodoo. They use a lot of human body parts, which I do not do. And if you're living in Western world, I would encourage you not to try that. It will get you in some problems. Yeah, so thanks for sharing though. Maybe it will be like a good heads up for somebody who's listening to this in the future who is working with Thai spirits and then want to work with gracious spirits. They may want to go through more rituals to make sure that they're on the ups and ups before they go further with a goetic spirit. So the time is 12:14 in Boston time. I know it's getting late in Asia. So let's wrap this stream up in about a minute. I know there's a lag here, so if somebody's typing something, I don't see it for another minute. But if I don't see anything for the next minute or so, we will just wrap this up. We actually went on for 2 hours, so that's pretty good. That's longer than usual. We had a good discussion going on. Some really good discussion about Thailand and necromancy and what people are doing in Hong Kong and Singapore. We have a lot of darkness here is from the US. And then we have a few people from IG chimed in, so that's great. So keep the stories coming, guys. Keep these questions coming. Lord of Darkness said, there are a lot of traces of magic community that is today a secret society like Harry Potter. That's true. I mean, even now, I'm evolving into a secret society kind of, because if you're just doing it in the public, you get a lot of like stupidity, like people challenging you to raise the dead or something in public, and you get a lot of flags, and other practitioners don't like you, and they start talking shit behind your back and things like that. So like I can see why now in practice that a lot of black magic needed to be practiced in a small closed community, So that's a good point, Lord of Darkness. So the time is 12:15 p.m. It must be like past midnight in Singapore and Hong Kong, so it's getting late for a lot of people. If there's nothing further, we will call it a day, and hopefully I'll be back next week, either Saturday or Sunday. I put a note up as usual, and hopefully I can put up more posts on IG and get my website going. And Saxon said, yeah, it was a nice talk. Have an amazing to you all. Thank you so much, Saxon, for sharing. Appreciate it. FGFG said, thank you for tonight, Dion. Thank you so much for being here and always supporting my live stream, my friend. And have a good day, everybody. Have a good week ahead. Make a lot of money. Get a lot of romance. Live a good life. All right, buddies.